Hey everyone, how you doing today? As mentioned with Omar, topic number 2 in our expert series is going to be, what is our advice for first-time buy and hold investors? So Omar, what do you got? We both owned some property and we both help people get started. What are you telling them today?
The number one thing, if you want to become that first buy and hold investor, and this is separate from your home, okay? Let me get clear on that. This is separate from your personal residence.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you have one home, you're trying to get another one, whether it's a duplex, triplex, an SFR, which is single family residence, and you want to rent it out because you want that buy and hold property. First of which, you got to figure out if you're going to be able to qualify for a secondary home.
Oh, good call.
Okay. You have to be able to have that remember, it's the investment home, so it's going to require 20% down. Now, if you have cash and you've been saving, awesome. You know what? I wouldn't buy the whole thing cash. I would definitely leverage it.
Yes.
Because this way, if you leverage it, you now have a good amount of, debt, 50% or 60% at super low interest rates. So you're going to cash flow, meaning that your tenant is going to be paying substantially over the amount of your loan amount. So if you're renting it for $1,500 and you have $1,000 mortgage payment, you're making $500 in positive cash flow. Yes, it did require you to put some money down, but now your cash on cash return is going to be, substantial, 8 to 12 to 14%, depending on your market. But you have to be a very, very well off. And I'm not going to say well off. You have to be paying your bills. You have to have great credit because you want a conventional loan. And does it come with the risk? Yes. But this is the other thing. Can you afford that payment along with your own payment comfortably without a tenant? You have to ask yourself that first.
Yeah, there's so much stuff to talk about today. Some of this I would not have done last year, right? The first one is, you're right. Your emergency fund, my emergency fund now is slightly bigger than it was a year ago. Why? Because I would have never thought the federal and state government could come in and tell my tenants they don't have to pay. I never would have fathomed that, right? I've always budgeted, in California, you got to plan for between 60 and 90 days for an eviction. I have one tenant that hasn't paid rent in 13 months. Who would have guessed, right? It's crazy. So yeah, emergency funds are good. There's other stuff I would tell a first-time buy and hold investor. First and foremost, the single family residence, the SFR, it is very quickly becoming the asset of choice for hedge funds, insurance companies, and the wealthy. They've proven
all day
in the last crisis that they can manage SFRs. It's always been this idea that, they're too small, they're too scattered, we can't do it, there's no leverage, we'll stick to apartments, office, storage, all of these things. Sorry, folks. 2010 crisis, when they bought tens and hundreds of thousands of units, they now have scale and are proving its work. And, oh, by the way, folks, they're now working with home builders to buy entire tracts of SFRs. So why do I bring this up? I like watching trends. And if I can watch the rich or the wealthy and I can invest around them and get that tailwind, dude, yes, please. So the SFR is where they're going now because they're getting higher yields, 7, 8, 9, 10% when they used to get 3 or 4 in other asset types. So again, if you can figure out what they're looking for, and it's not a secret, it's they're in the southern states, right? The smile states, they're often joked as of the United States. They're generally newer, so less than 3 years for sure. SFRs on single family lots, so they're not vertical. They want space because space is good. So, if that's where they are, if you happen to be like in Phoenix or Austin or, other Atlanta is another one, Vegas even, even Vegas, I would be going, what can I buy around them, right? If they're doing a housing track over here, or what's the older community built 30 years ago? What can I buy? Because again, how housing works is this stock goes up, it pulls stuff up around it. If in my market back in 2010, for example, when hedge funds changed my market overnight, I figured out after some research, they only bought 3 bedrooms and above. So guess what? I stopped looking for 3 and 4 bedrooms. Why? Because I can't compete with these deep pocket investors who are offering list price. I would never offer list price in 2010. So I looked for 1 bedroom and 2 bedrooms and 5 bedrooms. For whatever reason, the hedge funds only wanted 3s and 4s. So I was fishing where they weren't. And that's what you have to do. And again, if you can do that, it is very profitable. And then the last thing, go get that 30-year money. We have an artificial rate today, and totally understandable. We're coming out of a crisis, but go get that 30-year money. You go get an investment loan with a 3 or even a 4 on it. You are going to be so happy for decades. Go get that 30-year money as soon as you can. What do you think?
That right there at the very end, this last topic, the asset of choice, obviously being the SFRs. I mean, just copy what other people are doing. I mean,
rinse and repeat.
That's it. I mean, don't reinvent the wheel, guys. Really, you don't really need to. The other aspect of, or this last topic of, get that 30-year money. I mean, I wrote this down right here already. 30-year. I mean, it's so free. It's 3%, 4% for that rate. It's phenomenal. And if you end up making 1 extra payment a year, you're going to cut down substantially on that term of the 30-year note. You're going to save probably $19,000, $20,000 in interest over the course of the 30-year, but you probably won't have that deal in a 30-year.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably going to end up selling it because of the appreciation of it, and you'll 1031 it into something else.
Exactly.
So you got to remember that it's literally my last few investments that I did regular financing on. I got a 3% loan on a investment property that is, in a good area, and it's like 3%. This is phenomenal. I mean, this is unheard of. When I first bought my house, I had a 9% loan. 9. The first house I bought, it was an 80-20. So right now, everyone's spoiled. Everybody. So take advantage of it.
Yeah. Again, the last thing I'll tell a buy and hold investor today is I guess the squeeze is worth the juice, or the juice is worth the squeeze. I don't know how that analogy works. I guess it's the juice is
worth the squeeze. Yep.
You're going to change your financial future. Even if you don't go on to do 5, 10, 15 units, just get to 4. Shoot, just get to 1. You can change your financial future, especially, again, I can't highlight this enough. If the single family residence market has become the asset of choice for the rich, go get some. Let their weight raise you and your family as well. Any closing thoughts on this one?
Just, for all the investors out there, everybody wants that 1 rental unit. Okay. And remember, it's going to start with one rental at a time. You guys all know this. Okay?
I love it.
Your home plus 1 rental at a time.
Thank you.
Don't try to go get 4 or 5, just the first step, but understand that, hey, just pull the trigger. You save some money. You can afford the payment if the tenant does not pay. So remember that. Okay. That is the only advice I'd give you is, you know what? Money's free right now, but just if you could afford it by yourself, don't go out. Don't go get Starbucks every day. Don't go on expensive dinner dates. And then that will pay for your rental. Okay.
Totally agree.
So that's all.
Totally agree. Again, folks, it's worth it. You spend the next couple of years getting 1, 2, 3, or 4 SFRs. Life changes. Thanks, buddy. This is fun. I enjoy this. Thank you.